somebody says, "You know Mike," and I'm like, "Nah, what does he drive?" And then I know that, you know what I mean? Because it's an extension of that guy. And for me to explain that to somebody, it's kind of hard unless you do it, unless you put the, you know, you're in the driveway, skinning your elbows and knees, putting your suspension in and changing this. And, you know, it's hard to explain, but there's nothing negative about it.
I mean, before this, I rode bikes at BMX, so like BMX and cars are kind of the same, where you start with something bone stock or something totally just like factory, and you can do whatever you want to make it your own. So I feel the whole uniqueness and, you know, customization of creating something that's especially the way you like it is like the most amazing thing in the car scene.
There are endless hobbies and lifestyles out there. Some people like to go to clubs, some play sports, travel, or even stamp collect. But there is something hundreds of thousands love to do, and that is modify cars. Whether for show, race, drift, or even work, this is what we live for. In today's world, where our lifestyle has been negatively skewed by Hollywood and news media, this lifestyle has generally been looked at in the incorrect manner. In this documentary, you will meet those who have dedicated their life to this community. From your regular tuner to shop owner, show curators, photographers, and more. They explain what it's really like to be involved in such a unique culture and lifestyle.
Name? Darren Balico. Age? I have made 0 friends from the car lifestyle.
Yeah?
No, I'm just joking.
To be or not to be?
Going so fast. What I really appreciate, monster trucking. What I think makes this hobby different than other hobbies is that people really don't know how much effort, how much work is put into the car beforehand. Many people just see how the car looks, but they really don't know or even have the gist of what it took to build it like that. The car scene for 2013, I feel like there's no longer that divide like, oh, I'm in for imports or domestics or like trucks. Everyone's coming more together, I feel like, right now, and I bet 2013 there's not gonna be no boundaries. Everyone's just gonna have like that same love for all cars. The car behind me is my newest build. I'm trying to incorporate show and drift, and the point of the build is to make something from the ground up, like all by yourself, all on my own, you know, not sending it to companies or shops to build a car for me. I want to do something, you know, where I can be more intimate with my build, do everything my way, do everything what I want, you know, make it perfect, make it like my real dream car, like a build that I can be proud of, and that I can say that I did all the work, you know, just to like learn and become more knowledgeable about, like, you know, cars and stuff. Open Road Tuning, big shout outs to them.
We recently joined Darren on his trip to Chicago, where we met up with the guys from JDM Chicago for an all-FRS meet hosted by Toge Factory.
Just hanging out with your friends, you know, having fun building cars, inspiring other people to build something just as hard, you know, like I bet everyone has been inspired one way or another. I got my license. Been wrenching on cars, working on my parents' cars ever since what I think would be, I guess, the start of high school, freshman year.
What first got me into it actually was playing Initial D in video games at Fun and Games at the Willowbrook Mall. That's the first time I ever, experienced what even drifting was at all. My name is Dave, New Jersey, and I reside in North Jersey, up by Wayne and Patterson, and I am a Club Loose drifter. I have been driving here for 4 years, seeing it in a video game and then finding out that it happens here, and FD was starting up a couple years back, well, about 10 years now. And so, once I found out this happens here, because when you see it, it seems like only a West Coast thing. And then you find out that there's dudes that shred just as hard as West Coast dudes, over here in New Jersey. Was I into cars before that? I'd look at them, I'd admire them. I'd always wanted certain cars, but I never, modded anything. I never, bought anything for any cars, like my daily driver, none of that. And once I knew this was here, it was mind-blowing. It literally, you can't believe it happens. And, you just eventually, tire smoke hits in your lungs, and you come back with your own car, and, you beat the shit out of it. Hope for the best. Someone what you're thinking is what they see in the movies.
Yeah, Fast.
Gone in 60 Seconds, Fast and Furious. Not at all. These dudes are so broke. We're all broke. It's not even funny. You beg, borrow to get to the track, and we don't all drive nice cars. They're not all high horsepower builds. We don't all have these fancy garages with these lifts and shit. Like, most dudes have it really rough. Me personally, I have no power in my garage. So I have to run, propane light or whatever the hell it is, Have somebody park outside with their headlights if I have to do work on my car at night. And to literally, it's almost impossible to try and tell somebody what it is. You'd have to be here to see it. That what you see in the movies is nothing like real life. Because what movies have is expensive, they get big checks cut to them, this, that, the other thing. They've got a whole budget. The budget that these dudes are working with is minimal, to say the least. How many friends have I made through drifting? God, I can't even put a number on it. It's like we brought up the music and stuff before, it's the same. You just meet people, you see them more and more and more and more, and now with the internet and stuff, we're always talking and this and that. Yeah, I'd have to say, I know easily around 500 dudes just from driving here. It's just whether they're media or driver themselves or a professional driver, who cares? There's no bias, there's no nothing. You got dudes who are like, fuck Volkswagens or fuck this car. It's whatever, man, to each his own, and it's all about personal style, personal flair. Don't matter what you drive, what you look like, any of that, what you believe in. I know I get a lot of hate for it, but I like XXR wheels. I know all the stance kids are just gonna be mashing keyboards and stuff right now, but they're cheap, they're light, they work for drifting. If we crash, we're gonna, go and buy another $100 wheel. I don't have money for a $600 worth of equipment. I would love to drive on those, but just not in the cards. So, other companies too. BC really started blowing their name up, BC coils and suspension and stuff like that. As far as that, I see a lot of clothing. Clothing is becoming a big thing now too. How you can accessorize. Hoonigan, there's not a single person in the car scene that doesn't know them right now. And they exploded over a year, and it's incredible to see. It's good to see because a couple years ago the car scene was nothing like this, and now it's so big that it can never go anywhere. ever, because it's a whole different culture in its own. How much time, you're asking about time, dedication, and the joy you get when it finally fires up and you actually get to go drive on the track or the street or go to your meet, whatever it is that your cup of tea happens to be. You can't duplicate the feeling at all, because it's just the constant, and every person in the car scene will know, if you're doing something in your car, it's a constant worry. This can go wrong, that's gonna go wrong, or Murphy's Law is gonna come and just totally bend me over. It's all possible, and it all does happen to everybody at some point or another, and I know that everybody can reciprocate what I'm saying here, in that there is not a single thing that touches when you finally get everything right, and you get to take it out, and you feel it, and this is what I wanted. This is what I've worked so hard and long for. It's an irreplaceable feeling. I mean, of course, until the next time you break the car and you gotta do it all over again, then you get that feeling again. So it's a vicious cycle, but well worth it.
rolling down on the road and people like give you a thumbs up or try to stop you to take a picture. I love it, dude. When people stop me just to take pictures, it's the best.
Hey you,
Like, slow down.
I think the reason the car community that we're in is so unique and such like an interesting hobby is because when you think of sports, like when you think of football, like you know what football is. And when someone says like, you know, like I ride a skateboard, like you know what that is. But when someone says like I tune cars or like I'm in like this stance community of like the car game, like you don't really understand what it is, and like there's no real just description for it. Like you have to see it to know it and like to understand what it is. Like you can't really explain it, which is like so amazing about it.
My name is Robert Lee Yost Jr. From Edders, Pennsylvania, small hole in the wall town. We don't even have a town. Just my 94 Acura Integra. It's a B20 bottom end, ITR top, mild pistons, ITR cans. Made 205, 145 torque. I built the car to go autocrossing, so it's got spoon brakes, team coilovers, sway bars, ASR sway bars. Car to me is something that symbolizes who you are. Hey, are you so-and-so from, you know, Honda Tech or so-and-so from NWP? Yeah. And I met such great show promoters like Jay and Ray, Don with IA, you know, people that just want to embrace the culture and push it. And people like that is what we need.
Throw away the money, throw away everything else, like the stability, everything of it. I'll throw it all away just to work here every day.
Like when we're at our full-time job, we feel like we're losing money because we could be here making money doing something that we love versus, you know, being, you know, wherever we're working at, you know, working for somebody else, you know, and it's just always in our heads, the money we could be making here.
And it's not even all about the money either.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's, you know, it's what we enjoy. I'd say my best memory from getting into the scene was definitely meeting people. You know, it's more, to me it was like, you know, the cars are awesome and everything, but being able to make so many friends really made it a lot more fun.
People still accepted me even when I had a pink beater. Just because it was a Volkswagen. I was still part of the Volkswagen family, so.
My name is Matthew Walensky. I own Phenomenal Vinyl. We pretty much vinyl wrap cars and change the color into your dream color. Well, I got into cars first with my Ultima. I had a Nissan Altima Coupe that pretty much, I would say murdered the vehicle over the years. Did pretty much as I could myself and learned the hard way. It's pretty crazy to think back that you were in my shop as of, what was that, probably about 2 years ago at this point?
No, it was a year. That was a year ago. Dude.
Only a year ago. All right, well, time doesn't fly by as much as I thought. When I first saw you, we were at High End working on Brett's 350Z, which sadly was ruined in the hurricane. But as crazy as it sounds, the hurricane is what made us have this shop. We're down the block from people that we have been working with for countless months, that we worked through the hurricane and ended up, surpassing it and going on with the future. And we really hope that, having a spot like this can open up more doors in the future for us. I think the main reason why it's become so popular is because a lot of people really want to personalize their vehicles. The easiest way to personalize your vehicle is with your color, what stands for you. A lot of people get wraps done and they just say, oh, it has to match with my theme. But everyone's theme has a reason. I mean, on my car, I know I went with a nice red to really just go with the look of the vehicle, to really go with the color of the interior. Everything just meshed really well. I mean, it looks like it belongs. It's just like you're getting a set of wheels that's, a one-of-a-kind. You have a one-of-a-kind color, as well as a one-of-a-kind set of wheels that finishes the package. With the curves, you really have to heat it out, but heat it out the right way. You don't want to overheat it. It's a giant sticker in essence. In the end, it's literally a sticker. Vinyl itself, going in the future, I mean, within a year, I remember when I looked at my catalog to order from, there was only probably 20 pictures of different colors that you can do. And now there's 96 from one company that had about 25. And then the other company, you're pretty much looking at, I would say around 75 colors from each of the other companies. So you're looking at over 250 colors. I mean, the possibilities are endless. The way it brings so many different people together, you don't just sit there, you don't see just young guys anymore. You see the older guys, you have the younger guys, you have the guys who just got their license and, are trying to see what the older guys are doing to their cars so they can kind of, make sure that they're doing the right thing, as I like to call it. I mean, it's pretty crazy, the entire scene itself. There's always something going on. If you're bored and you're in New York, there is a meet going down somewhere. You just gotta find it, you gotta know the right people, and next thing you know, you're in a family, not even a car scene. As weird as it sounds, I met him on a car forum with my Ultima. He lived in Arkansas and just literally moved here, and that's really when Phenomenal Vinyl took off. I mean, his Z, how many views do you have, man?
Yeah, 40,000 plus.
Yeah, 40,000 plus? That's insane. We never thought that would happen, and it was on his car when this dude just comes down.
It was a mess.
Yeah, and now a year later we're sitting in our own shop, 2,500 square foot facility, which it's a dream. So overall, it doesn't seem like work, I'll tell you that much. You sit here, and I remember probably 3 years back when I was sitting there like, oh wow, you know, I wish I could be a part of this scene. I wish I could really, you know, go crazy with this stuff. And now we're sitting here holding our own events. And, you know, I mean, we're sitting in a dream world. It's living in paradise every day. That door looks awesome. You want to lay the other door? Oh, my goodness. Give him a nice, cool shot. I don't even know. He's done it now.
Sure. Okay, well, my whole name is Ernesto Sarmiento Jr., and everyone just calls me Junior. I think I've been into cars since middle school and high school. That was like the late 80s and early 90s. I got really into lowriders first. Right when that JDM era hit, like I'll say 2001, 2002, we wanted to do Japantown, San Francisco, because that was like a really big, iconic place. And so we made arrangements with the Japantown mayor, the garage manager, and the Japantown Association if we could do it. And they said, yeah, that's fine, because it was kind of a dying community. They would like to see like the foot traffic at the mall, and we did it. Like 600 cars showed up. That was called Jay's Gathering. It was Jay for Junior, because everybody was calling me Junior. So that was called Jay's Gathering. That was like in 2001. I asked my good friend who's in my car crew, his name is Kenneth Lee. He's the owner of Weak Sauce. You know, if he wanted to help, and that's when WEKFEST was born. Our last year in Japantown was like, that was the birth of this craziness. We partnered up with my good buddy Mark Arsenal, who's the owner of Fatways. He sponsors like my son's basketball team. But I've been friends with Mark since I started Jay's Gathering. So 10 years I've known this guy. He said, hey, let's do a tour together, and I'll do my drift stuff, and I'll do my Illest stuff with you guys, and we'll call it the WEKFEST Illest Tour. And that like second year is when we actually started to go to Chicago, Jersey, Texas, and Hawaii. And I think it was Mark's Valley influence that got us to actually start touring. And that was the first year we actually started to screen cars. No more car meet level cars. It was actually, you had to screen to get your car in. Friends who asked me, what's your favorite show outside of, you know, FlipzCo? A lot of people will think that I would say Hawaii because my mom's Hawaiian, and I'm always, I get to visit my mom in Hawaii, but then others think, oh, well, maybe LA because the West Coast has like a really high level of car build. But I tell everybody, Jersey's my second favorite next to the hometown, because their builds are at that same caliber, that same, you know, pedigree. The battle between East Coast and West Coast was completely erased, because these guys, like, I was like shocked. And then you saw the line out the door. How you can distinguish ours from we'll call it just the other shows, is you'll notice the vibe. The vibe is really chill. It's all about, you know, reuniting with your old friends and then making new friends, and just talking about that common interest about cars and like the lifestyle brand of, you know, what we bring within our community.
Name's Justin Francisco, 21 years old. I'm from Belleville, New Jersey. FlipzCo began as just an action sports, a little bit into the drifting. So, I mean, as of right now, I'd just say it's still a lifestyle brand, it's still a streetwear brand, and we're just trying to stay true to our roots. I have fun with my friends, and they're all into cars, and that's how we came together. FlipzCo has existed probably around 2 to 3 years now, but it's been our second year of just vending events and actually spreading the word. But I'd say locked down probably 3 years. Favorite thing about the scene right now that I'd have to say is just everyone's friends with everybody, and I think that as time goes on, it's just gonna give you a family at the end of the day. I think you can go back and say, my true friends, we're from the car industry, and you can just roll around with your friends. I like that feeling of cruising down to a show more than I like being at a show. So I think favorite thing about the scene would probably be the friend base of everything. What I think that would probably be the main point of making a successful build would probably be going in with the right mindset and having a plan. I think that would be the best bet. I mean, everybody says it's money, but you can always find a way to make money to get parts if you have the right mindset and if you're actually determined to get what you want done. Everyone's gonna have their own taste, everyone has their own different kind of style, but I'd say if you don't have a plan and you don't have a right mindset, don't even try. Any advice I'd give to somebody that's trying to run a vlog, do any media aspect, or run a clothing brand, I'd say just have a motive. Just always stay true to your roots and know where you came from. I think modding cars, you're never fully happy, but you're always progressing.
My name is Jazz Birdie. I'm the owner of JDS Motoring. We've been in business for a little over 2 years now. We're located in Old Bridge. It's a family-run business, and just here to serve everyone in the community and just make everyone happy. First got into modifying cars. My dad's a mechanical engineer. Always working on cars. My brother and myself, we grew up just watching him build engines, rip them apart, put them back together, start racing them. We both started racing, drag racing, when we were in high school, and just went from there. My dad is the chief, engine builder of the shop. From start to finish, the guy's, it's an art form. Just watching him work is unreal, and that's pretty much our education. I mean, we didn't go to school for this. Just watching him work, asking him questions, putting stuff back together. That's how we learned how to play with cars. The racing just was pretty much a benefit of it. But we started out specializing in Nissans. I own a couple of 350s myself. I've been racing them for quite a few years now. So that was the initial startup of the shop. But now, for all imports, we've been doing domestics. Pretty much open to all makes and models. It's a passion. It's hard to put into words when you start playing with cars, because I used to play sports growing up, basketball and football, and at the same time I got into cars. But just something about cars, man, just it's who you are. When you build something, a car to me, it's an empty canvas. So it's an image of who you are. So when you put something together that resembles you, it's a different feeling when you see it all come together. You take it out to a meet, to races, to shows, you get the respect when it's done right. It's a whole different feeling than, just liking or playing sports with friends. I would say 99% of my friends, it's a different feeling, man. It's just like, when you're into cars, when you're building these things, you're going out, you're surrounding yourself with these people who share the same passion as you. It's different because you understand what the other guy's going through. When stuff is not working, or you're just waiting on these parts for months and months to come by, and putting it all together, making it work right. It's a different feeling. So I think I would literally have to say 99% of my friends would have come out of the car scene. My best memory of being in business would be the day I started JDS. This was JDS was pretty much just a dream we had, my brother and I, when we were growing up. We got into the scene, we were looking, trying to build our cars when we didn't have the shop, going to one shop to the other shop, trying to get the stuff done, which we couldn't do at home. And it was just, either they wouldn't have time, or they were just neglecting people, the work was just not done right. It just got frustrating. So we always just thought, opening up a shop where we can, treat people properly, get their cars 100%, and not just be about, all right, make money, and just don't worry about the quality of stuff. So the day we started JDS, that was the day that was probably the biggest highlight personally. This is my goal with the car. I want to make 700-800 horsepower. I want to make it look this way. I want to be different in this way. So you pretty much, you have a goal to start with. So that's, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's your own personal car. I think you pay more attention to the customer car anyway, because you don't want the customer to come back to you with the same problem that it came back to you, or just regardless, even if it's a old stock car that they want to transform into this, full-blown race car that they want to take out on the track. I don't know, it's just ripping the motor apart, putting it back together, making sure everything works. That's the reason we're in this business. I mean, it's so easy to fool a customer, put stuff back and just say, okay, it's done. But doing it right, you know, making sure everything works down to the nitty gritty. So the customer goes out, runs it during the weekend, or, you know, even if it's a street car, it doesn't really matter, but that's the drive for us and the guys that work for JDS. You know, we check, we double check, we triple check things. And that's where I think our shop is different from the other shop. It's not a typical shop atmosphere. So yeah, when you have a car in front of you, it's the passion that builds the car. You know, not just putting parts together, bolting them on, and starting the car up and giving it back to the customer. I have a 2-year-old daughter and a 5-month-old son. My daughter is already, you know, she'll come to the shop. She thinks she's helping us out, you know, carrying wrenches, doing this. But I definitely want to see my kids, you know, do some part of it in their life. You know, as far as the hobby goes, definitely. I want them to be, if they want to be a racer, a weekend racer or something. But yeah, I definitely want to see them involved in the car scene, the culture. The culture that was just, it was so small when we first started out to where it is now, it's just unbelievable. You can't even put it into words.
My name is Norris, born from New Jersey. Currently 23. I've picked up on cars since I was about 10. My dad had a twin turbo Z32, and from there, you know, the rush captivated me to stick with it. Even my close friends, everybody, it's all cars. Even my best friends, like all cars. A lot of people, you know, watch the Fast and Furious rattle all movies. Listen to Dominic say half the shit that I can say. You know, it's best to just say it myself. You go to a meet, you see the atmosphere, you see everybody there. Those meets that aren't riced out, those meets that where they don't plug out. You know, you see cars that represent the builder. You know, I usually suggest you do that, or just find some friends that have cars and just take a cruise. You know, just play some music, chill, you know, some chill. Like, just rock out and just understand, like, to build a car, some people just got money where they can blow it. Even I've seen people with money, I'm not calling no one out, I've seen people with money that can build cars. Not all of them are good, you know. And then you got some people that don't have it, that can just build cars that will destroy you. You know, I feel it's because they felt, you know, the right parts to build. And honestly, half of these cars I've seen throughout these years, they represent the owners big time. It's like one of the major things right now in our era that it's like a community that, you know, we get together at. You know, a lot of friendships once again is gained. It's like its own chapter in a life. I think everybody's had that car era where, you know, it's chill nights, meets, you know, going out to impress, you know, 10 o'clock at night time to head out. You know, everybody did it. You know, you meet up with your friends, even bikes, you know, rolling packs on the parkway, anywhere. So, you know, you definitely get to that point, and, you know, once again, for those that don't do it, you know, everything you see on this video, you know, there's definitely a lot, you know, even some of the little photos of mine, you know, splashed in between. It's just to feel and understand the grace that people put and the time and effort that people put into the cars that they're building today to just, once again, make a statement. That's all it is at the end of the day. Some show off, others make statements.
Hello, my name is Cristian Loza, and I am co-founder of CANIBEAT. My role for the company is basically to run and manage the website, and I basically decide what cars and events make it onto the website and who shoots and writes about it. CANIBEAT started in 2009 with a main goal and mission to bring viewers some of the hottest rides in the scene, no matter the style or origin of the car. Basically, Roy Jang and myself founded the company in 2009, right outside of Washington, D.C., in the heart of Northern Virginia. Originally, we started out as a blog and eventually grew into an online magazine and a clothing brand. I know a lot of people use the word blog loosely, but in my opinion, a blog provides their viewers with content that is not theirs, while a magazine or just an online publication gives their viewers exclusive content owned by them. So basically, all of our content is original, it's ours, and we provide our viewers with that. We don't recycle other content from other sites, and if we do, there's always a good reasoning behind that. So, we pride ourselves in that. Not even a year into, the company, New Jersey photographer Dave Tormey joined our team, and he was our first official photographer. He was always a really good friend of ours. We would always see him at shows. He'd always, come down and hang out with us, and it just, felt right. And, we thought, why not just, we've met so many people from being in the car scene, why not just, keep adding people to the family and just, make it grow in that aspect. We have been doing a car show in Princeton, New Jersey, called First Class Fitment. We do it every year. This will be the 4th year that we're doing it, and we host it at Princeton Airport, New Jersey. Like I said, every October. And basically, what the whole concept and theme of the whole event is, we really stress, quality over quantity. It's always been our main motto, our main, we always stick by it. Small in size show where we hand select all the cars through a pre-approval process, and basically just, the best way of looking at it is basically a test and art exhibit for cars. No cars slip through the crack. We really pride ourselves in that. It's not, one of those events where it's like in some really big warehouse and we try to get as many cars as we can and that sort of thing. It's really small, it's very personal, and like I said, it's our 4th year doing it, and we're really excited. We feel like the East Coast team's been really growing really fast since we've been in the game, and we always like to showcase the best. So we're really excited for that. I myself got into the car scene around 2005, 2006. So I got into it through my brother, who was really involved in the Honda scene. My first build and car was a Honda, so it all started out through that. But eventually, I started branching out into other, started getting interested in other makes and models. But since I started going to car shows, I quickly, dove right into it. I started meeting a lot of people, connecting with a lot of, photographers, and quickly became my friends. And, I like I said, I just dove right into it. It started becoming more of a lifestyle sort of thing rather than, the cars are awesome, but it's all about the people you meet and who you connect with, because, like I found out when CANIBEAT started or got rolling that, those are the people who, who you get a chance to work with and you get really close with, and, being friends with them beforehand, really helped, and it really, made, more lasting friendships. I think in the industry, it's very fast growing. There's a lot of people, and there's a lot of companies, coming up, every season, every year. And I feel like this year there's more car shows and meets than there's ever been before. And, it's just awesome. It's really awesome to see it growing. But I also think, like, as a company owner, it's a challenge because you have to keep doing, fresh and new things to stand out and make a mark, because there's just so many people involved. So I really like the challenge of that. It just, reminds me of being in school. A ton of different people just like you, a lot of graphic designers in my case, and you just have to, keep challenging yourself. You have to keep doing new and fresh things, or, you just become, a regular C student, and that's not what we want to be.
I came home from, a buddy's house or whatever, and had gotten home like 2 o'clock in the morning, went to sleep, woke up the next day, walked out to it with my brother, gone. So, basically it's a heartbreak, You walk out to your car expecting it to be there. I live in a good neighborhood. I didn't expect that at all. You know, the police in Newark gave me a phone call 2 weeks later and let me know it's at the lot. Basically tore the whole thing apart, broke an axle, fourth gear was grinding from then on, and they found it like on a dead end road. Everything else, you know, you still have the memories every day of, you know, worried about if you're gonna ever see the car again after that point. You never know, it could get stolen again right after. My one piece of advice is definitely get theft on it. I'll always do that for all my cars, regardless of how old it is, how much of a beater it is. And just make sure you keep it in a safe spot. If you have a driveway, always put it in the driveway. Block that car with another car if you have to. And that's what I do from now on.
When I went to my first car show, I didn't even think of, you know, taking photos or filming it or anything, because I don't know why I didn't even think of that. But when I first started bringing my camera to shows, I did the typical, you know, take a picture of each car and then, you know, same angle, put it online. And then once I saw people like Avid Wilkerson and other people just like creating these videos that made the scene look so much cooler, not cooler than it really is, but like you look at it a different way than you don't really look at it when you go to a show. And once I saw people start doing that, I started thinking of shooting it myself. And you know, as time progressed, now I'm here where I am now.
My friend from high school had a Mitsubishi GSX that we worked on all the time, and I actually got my eye asked right after he got his GSX, and we started modding both of our cars. He took me to shows and introduced me to people, and that's mainly what got me into it. And you really have to put your heart and soul into modifying your car and make a lot of sacrifices. I know a guy that ate soup for a couple months just so he could afford coilovers.
I mean, I felt the industry saved my life. That's how I mainly come out to be. You know, I could have been that young 15, 16-year-old kid getting into drugs and hanging out with the wrong people, and I didn't. I'm Jay Martinez, 29 years old, from York, Pennsylvania. Originally from South Bronx, New York, but I moved to PA about 13, 14 years ago. The amount of time I've been in cars, it's say a little over 12, 13 years total. I say about since I was like 15, 16 years old. What really sparked it was, you know, guys around the neighborhood, you know, they actually, you know, had the cars and stuff and started building. I started getting a little curious. I noticed my brother was into it too, and he's about 5, 6 years older than me, but he was running around with like higher end guys from our area, like Brian Fox, and I was still 15, but then high school broke in, and you know, one of my friends asked me to go to Carlisle Performance and Style back in 2000, 2001, and that was my first event, and that was like the introduction of the industry for me. Well, when I first started in the scene, it's like, you know, a lot of people were, I mean, a lot of guys always say, you know, go back to the Fast and Furious age and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of like what we based off and what we started as. But, you know, throughout the progression, throughout the years, almost like every 4 years, it seems like the guys, you know, the JDM fade came in, and a lot of people were really into the JDM, and you started seeing less and less body kits and less and less, you know, Bondo and stuff like that. But it got cleaner. It got a lot better for the industry within itself, and it got more functioning form, as people say. But even now, like going into like in the past, like, you know, 2010 and now, you know, there's another change of that as well. I started Tuner Evolution back in 2005. The idea came in 2005. We did our very first show. Actually, it wasn't Tuner Evolution, it was Motor Mayhem. And, you know, we decided to do a show. It's like 3 vendors and about 90 some cars. And just the drive of doing my very first event, it felt really good. It's like, man, you know, I put all this stuff together myself. So my best friend Jeremy Cover, which is also the originator that started Tuner Evolution with myself, his dad is East Coast Commissioner for Yorktown Volleyball, and he does events in every single big conventions throughout the East Coast for volleyball. So when they did the York Fairgrounds, they actually wanted to have some kind of like a side event happening while the volleyball tournament took over. So he came to us and said, all right, you know, we would like to do like a small mini car show. I mean, we only had 2.5 months promo time. You know, we didn't even have a name to the show, and we decided to, you know, sit down in the basement, and we were just hanging out for a couple weeks. And we got inspired by Dustin Worrell from Mischief, watching, you know, Mischief videos, Technemic videos down the basement. And, you know, I was only like 19, 20 years old at the time. And the idea of us wanting to do the event at the Toyota Arena, we were trying to figure out how do we call this event. And one of his drift cars had Revolution on it. And we knew we wanted to have the show named Tuner because to me, a tuner is not necessarily just like your ordinary race car. To me, it's a gearhead. It's a guy that is in and out of the shop, work on his car, whatever, if it's a stereo system or motor work or whatever the case may be. They are straight tuners. Those are the guys that build cars. So we wanted to bring something to the table as far as what's named, you know, the second. It was like tuner and what? Evolution. And to us, evolution's always been like evolving, always changing your car, always doing things. So that's kind of like how we came up with the name. And we just went with it. We never looked back. And we did our first event in 2006 at the York Fairgrounds. And then it was an all-free event. We only had about 3 sponsors and about 200 some cars come out. And then 2007, 2008, 2009, where we did an all indoor-outdoor show. It was a 74,000 square feet building. Then we had an outdoor portion. So every year we had about 30. We had about 30 vendors and sponsors. We had for me to get the cars we wanted to have in York, it wasn't easy. York is such a small town that a lot of people don't really realize that York even exists. So I had to always travel to New York, to Jersey, to Virginia, and stuff like that to be able to capture the high-end cars, capture the nice guys, and who's doing what, the car clubs too. So that's where I basically, worked hard to build a Tuner Evolution name and put myself out there, not send, as a promoter, not send a street team out there, let them do the work. I want to meet the guys. I wanted to meet all the car guys and their families. So, we took the show in 2009, 2010, I took a year off and I worked with the OC Car Show guys, Motorama events, even Carlisle events. I, did a couple jobs for them. And then going into 2011, we decided to move the venue to our outdoor portion downtown York. And it went really well. We were really satisfied and happy how it all came out for all outdoor event. I just was really into cars. I went to every single car show you can think of, up and down the East Coast. Even I've been to Vegas for the SEMA show and I've met so many people, but I think it really saved my life because it kept me in the right direction of doing good. No matter if I was doing a business motive or trying to make money, because it is a company that we do run, but at the end of the day, it kept me doing what I need to do for my life to breathe every day. And I just, it goes really back, going back to 10, 12 years now, doing it, it feels really good that, I chose this path, even though it's like, I'm not a multimillionaire or nothing like that. It's just at the end of the day, it's just that as long as you're breathing good and you're doing good for yourself, that's all you need in life.
Every year, we're going to see something totally new and just beyond what we would expect from the previous year.
to